high-profile marketing campaign and new investment in new visitor attractions. But as our Midlands correspondent Ciaran Mullooly now reports, competing with its more traditional opponents around the island is already proving a severe challenge for this new brand.
So they descended from the Vikings originally.
Meet Brady. She's the manager and today's tour guide at the new Knights and Conquest Visitor Centre in Granard in County Longford. And she's busy selling the Hidden Heartlands.
So William, you're going to have a very...
This interactive Anglo-Norman attraction is just one of many features of the 9 counties that make up the new Hidden Heartlands region. And with investment of almost €3 million coming down the tracks to create an impressive new Norman village here, they're looking forward to meeting even more tourists.
There's just lots to see and lots to do. I was very pleasantly surprised by the level of detail that's in.
But particularly the Hidden Heartlands to me is about local experience. So it's families, it's smaller groups and it's independent travel. And it's about the idea of doing it yourself, which fits perfectly with what we do here.
Go! Yeah. At the Shannon River Adventure Centre near Rooskey in County Roscommon, the fun is at full flow. The people behind this centre warmly welcome the new Heartlands brand. But they also know the scale of the work to be done in promoting this region.
Okay, we live in a beautiful part of the country here, but we're just not recognised for what we are and what we have here. So what Fáilte Ireland with the Hidden Heartlands brand have to do is to create a destination here, create a name, get our name out there.
Ireland's Hidden Heartlands faces a big problem because there is only one Wild Atlantic Way, and Fáilte Ireland has had a big difficulty bringing their other 3 brands on board because none of them are going to reach that level.
The sales pitch in Hidden Heartlands really is about getting off the beaten track and uncovering a real Ireland, getting active in nature as well. So it's distinguishing it from what we have in Wild Atlantic Way on Ireland's Ancient East, but there's lots of uniqueness here. But we're really focusing on pre-teen families who can come away for short breaks and get active in nature, and particularly for kids to get out from behind the laptops and the mobile phones and just get into nature.
Well, with me now at the Glasson Country House Hotel here in County Westmeath is our Midlands correspondent Ciaran Mullooly. We've just been watching a report there, Ciaran, about some of the challenges, some of the initiatives underway. How can the Hidden Heartlands initiative win customers to the Midlands?
Well, first of all, there's a lot of work to do. I think Fáilte Ireland themselves would admit that prior to this initiative, some of these counties in the Midlands had the lowest number of international visitors in the country. So a lot of work to do. Last year, they spent that initial $2 million on the brand, setting up the brand. Now, the hard business begin, trying to find the customers around the country who are coming for this special experience. They're not being promised the Cliffs of Moher. They're being promised something different, something personal.
As we can see today, of course.
Indeed, yes, that's on the road.
It's a different experience.
It's a different experience. And they've got lots of, we've seen some examples this evening in my own report there. Lots of others in the production stage at the moment. They're rolling out some new projects. They're looking at up to 18 new projects around the country. A lot of those are in this region. So keep an eye out for these different experiences, so to speak. And of course, good weather would help as well.
Yes, of course, it helps everything. Speaking of weather, of course, climate change is a challenge that has come home to roost in this region in recent times, with the challenges for Bordemona, for power production here that employ so many people. What are the concerns for those living here?
People might say there's no link between tourism and Bordemona and the jobs economy. There actually is, because for decades the Midlands has relied on Bordemona and ESB and perhaps didn't really work hard in tourism. That is all changing. Last week we saw a power station shutting down overnight with the loss of jobs. I'm hearing this evening we're going to hear news of more permanent job losses at that power station. And on Monday and Tuesday next week, now, big announcement on the second power station in the Midlands. These are crucial pieces of infrastructure. They've been there since the 1950s and 1960s. Are there replacements? In many cases, there are not alternative industries. Therefore, the people will turn to tourism in some part. There will be jobs in tourism. There'll be additional industries coming up here. They're based on tourism products in the Hidden Heartland. So the two subjects are very much linked.
Yeah, they're very much linked, and very important that the Hidden Heartland succeeds for the region and the people who live here. Ciaran, thank you for that. And still ahead, we'll have more from Ireland's Hidden Heartlands and the economic challenges facing the region due to climate action.
We have a number of hotspots, and the policies of Fáilte Ireland are very much about regionality, bringing the economic benefits of tourism to greater parts of the country. And within the Hidden Heartlands, we see a role for tourism to regenerate a lot of communities that maybe have been slow to come out of the recession. And we're beginning to see the regenerative effects of tourism already.
Right, so what are your targets, and what have you seen since this started up, not a little over a year ago?
A little over a year ago, we've been on the go. April of last year, the brand was launched. We're already seeing growth, and we're seeing very, very clear green shoots. Our targets are 3 to 5% year-on-year growth, which is slow and steady, but also quite sustainable. We're already seeing new businesses, new enterprises being created within the region based on tourism, and new jobs being created. Probably the biggest of which, and the most obvious one, is Centre Parks. But even outside of that, we're seeing very, very steady growth within enterprises and new businesses growing all the time, which is bringing new jobs into the area as well.
And Mary Claire Grealy, I mean, you're a journalist operating and broadcasting in this region. What are you hearing from the community about this initiative, about how they feel about it, and about how they see it working so far?
Yeah, I think everybody's very optimistic about it. I think they've been waiting for a long time for an agency like Fáilte Ireland to really take this region, take what people here in this region are very, very proud of, and bring it to a wider audience, both domestically and, as Paddy says, then after that internationally. I think a lot of community groups are already doing their part in rolling out new bogland walkways, peatland conservation measures, funding announced for that today. And indeed, Bord na Móna have a huge natural resource in their boglands in the Midlands that they can conserve.
This is crucial for the community. And we saw in George's report, and people around the country will have watched with great concern the developments at Bord na Móna recently. So how fearful are people about their jobs, about their traditional livelihoods, and how much hope do they have in the initiatives you've just outlined there?
I think there's great hope. They've always worked with the company to reinvigorate, reinvent, retrain and upskill, and for those that will want to, in that demographic, continue to work on the environment, sustainable projects, bioenergy, they will have the opportunity to do that. For others and for new people coming to the company, there's always the environmental model, the climate change model, but as well to the opportunities of tourism through what we hope will be a wetlands wilderness park similar to Lochborough in County Leash, will yield dividends linking up the Grand Canal coming from Dublin right through the heartlands of Ballymahon, Lanesborough and on hooking up to the River Shannon in Clondra.
Interesting. So those challenges with Bord na Móna and the climate change presenting perhaps an opportunity. Paddy, for you, what are those opportunities? What do you say to people tuning in tonight when you're trying to sell the Hidden Heartlands? Why should they come here? I know we don't have great weather tonight, but what of it? There'll be sunshine tomorrow, we can guarantee that. How would you sell this to them tonight?
Well, the core proposition of Hidden Heartlands is active in nature. It's about utilising the great assets we have in this area, the Shannon River, the lakes, the woodlands, the bogs, and getting kids out from behind the tablets.
Zip lines, adventure lands, the whole
absolutely,
thing.
Yeah, getting them in nature, active and into the fresh air. And there's tremendous opportunities right throughout the Hidden Heartlands, like the Lochkey, Centre Parks, as we mentioned before, Loch Derg, Loch Ree. Tremendous opportunities to get onto the water as well, kayaking, and as you mentioned, zip lining as well. All those kind of activities are great family-friendly activities as well. The kids love it, the parents love it. It's great intergenerational.
Great. Mary Claire Grealy of Shannonside, Northern Sound, thanks, and Paddy Matthews. I was going to say it's about an hour from Dublin, but of course the secret here is it's about an hour from everywhere in Ireland, so no excuse not to come down. That's all for now. We'll have more from here later in the programme. Back to you, Eileen.